Salma Hayek recently wrote a piece for the New York Times where she, in a very detailed manner, talked about her relationship with Harvey Weinstein and the abuse that she had to deal with in making the movie about Frida Kahlo earlier in the early 2000s. And this is a story that she had never shared publicly before. And even after dozens of women came forward with sexual assault allegations against Harvey Weinstein, she still wasn't convinced that it was a good idea to share her story. But now she is detailing it in a way that I think is incredibly powerful and shows the level of manipulation that Harvey Weinstein used in order to get sexual favors from women, specifically actresses. Here's what she had to write. I had brainwashed myself into thinking that it was over and that I had survived. I hid from the responsibility to speak out with the excuse that enough people were already involved in shining a light on my monster. I didn't consider my voice important, nor did I think it would make a difference. Also, she referenced the word monster there, and it's also used in the headline of her piece. She wrote, Harvey Weinstein is my monster too.
So Anna's gonna give you more quotes here, but this is not just a piece for women, although it is monumentally important for women. But it's also for guys too, because I came to a really important conclusion about guys like Harvey Weinstein. And I don't mean just the extreme monster that he happens to be, and he's, according to the allegations, literally a rapist, let alone all the terrible things he's done and the extreme sexual harassment, but he's literally sexually assaulted people as bad as you can imagine. And I don't, if he never gets arrested, we have no justice in this country. We at least have two different justice systems. So, but let me let Anna finish, and then I'll come back and tell you why I think it's so important for all of us.
So Salma Hayek was inspired by the story of Frida Kahlo, and she really wanted to make a movie about her, profiling her and also playing the role of Frida Kahlo. And so she had approached Harvey Weinstein about the project, and she was surprised and excited when he said yes, because she was an actress from Mexico and she was told over and over again that she's not good enough, she's not talented enough, that she's a nobody. And so here's Harvey Weinstein, a powerful man who said, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and pursue this project. She wrote about it. I was so excited to work with him and that company. In my naivete, I thought my dream had come true. He had validated the last 14 years of my life. He had taken a chance on me, a nobody. He had said yes. But then she follows it with this line. Little did I know it would become my turn to say no. No to me taking a shower with him. No to letting him watch me take a shower. No to letting him give me a massage. No to letting a naked friend of his give me a massage. No to letting him give me oral sex. No to getting naked with another woman. And with every refusal came Harvey's Machiavellian rage. And so he knew that this movie meant a lot to her, and he used it and basically dangled it over her head as a way of pursuing her sexually and encouraging her to engage in sexual favors. And I highly recommend you guys read the full piece, because she gets into the details of what he made her do. But it essentially culminated in him forcing her to do a sex scene naked with another female actress that she didn't want to do. And she felt so sick about it, she had to take a tranquilizer before the scene to calm down. She was vomiting, she was super uncomfortable, but she wanted to do the movie so badly, and there were so many friends and supporters behind the scenes that helped it come to fruition that she felt like it was her responsibility and obligation to just go through with it.
Yeah, so let's dive in. Okay, so first of all, Salma Hayek saying these things about Harvey Weinstein would have been monumental, world-shaking news a month ago or whenever the Weinstein stuff started. It's still big news today, but that's the least of this story. There's two other layers to it that are much more important. First of all, I know we've talked about it a decent amount on the show, but this tidal wave of women coming forward and telling what has happened to them is a cultural change. And it's the hardest kind of change there is. So sometimes you can get political change, electoral change, sometimes you can get policy changes. But a cultural change, that sticks. That's as big as it gets. And here we have a cultural change, and as she said, here, let me see, if I have that last part of the article for you, because I found it so important. She said, men sexually harassed because they could. Women are talking today because in this new era, we finally can. So for all this time, and if you're a guy, you didn't know it, but women, so many women, not all women, but so many women kept this stuff hidden, and they had been abused and humiliated and put upon and done all these things, and they kept it bottled up and bottled up. So when they come out now, and they come forward with their stories, it is a moment where they get to finally be free. So you can't overstate the importance of that. And so, as we've said in almost every one of these stories, it doesn't mean that every woman is right, doesn't mean every guy is guilty. Nobody's saying any of that. What we're saying is, it is an important watershed moment in American, I don't know if it's too grand to say world history, but where 50% of the people in this country are being liberated in a sense. They finally don't have to take it anymore. So if it was just that, it'd already be world changing. But I think there's a second layer to it. As I read it, I think she wrote it in a brilliant way, and it actually reached me in a way that the other accounts had, and you can go back and watch all the videos, but I think this was even more powerful than others. And I don't know, I can't quite put my finger on why, but it really got to my core. And one of the things that I got from it was not the male-female dynamic, but also gaslighters. Now, gaslighting is a term that I was kind of uncomfortable with, and I think that people use it in a couple of different ways. But the technical definition of it, and what I'm referring to, is people in your life, so this applies to all of us, that are manipulative. And they do it on purpose, and they make you feel bad about it. I don't know about you guys, but I've had it happen to me a lot. And actually, it's easier to do it to people who are nice, because they have a natural inclination to want to agree, to want to say yes. It's kind of hard to say no. And manipulative people who gaslight others, they do it on purpose. And they put you in awkward situations where it's hard to say no. And they do it to take advantage of you. And I think we all collectively have to say enough, no. When it makes sense, you've got to say no. And so I don't want to be manipulated anymore, and I'm tired of all these tricks and games that people play.
Right.
And as you see Weinstein doing it, I was like, oh my God, that's right, this is the playbook. In my tiny, tiny way, I've also dealt with this throughout my life with guys like this. And by the way, women like this, because either side can do manipulation, right? And so as Anna was pointing out, he says, oh, come on, I'm gonna help your career, I'm gonna give you wonderful things, and you're gonna be a star, etc. Then once she's already too far in, and they've already shot for 5 weeks, and she already went through hell to get this, then he starts to say, oh, now give me this, now give me this, and if you don't do it, I'm taking everything away. And then the last part of it is, he doesn't say, because I'm choosing to do this. He puts it on her like it's your fault. It's it's your choice. If you're not having sex with me, you're the one who ruined all these people's lives and ruined this project.
Right. I mean, the level of gaslighting and manipulation that happened specifically with that movie that she cared so deeply about was just horrendous, horrendous. She writes that the range of his persuasion tactics went from sweet talking me to that one time when, in an attack of fury, he said the terrifying words, "I will kill you, don't think I can't." And he had this problem with the movie because, look, Frida Kahlo had a unibrow. Frida Kahlo was an artist, right? And I guess Harvey Weinstein didn't find her sexy. And so Salma Hayek played the role appropriately with a unibrow. And Harvey Weinstein's like, what is this? There's no sex appeal. And that's why he kept pushing for that sex scene. And since he kept dangling the movie over her head like this, she just wanted to get it done. She wanted it to finally happen and be done with it. This is what she also writes about that. He told me that the only thing I had going for me was my sex appeal and that there was none of that in this movie. So he told me he was going to shut down the film because no one would want to see me in that role. By the way, that movie actually received 6 Oscars nominations and won 2 Oscars.
And afterwards, of course, Harvey Weinstein took all the credit.
Yeah.
And part of the reason he wanted that sex scene in the movie was not just so that it would make the movie better in his eyes, because he wanted to see Salma Hayek naked with another woman. And he tried in every way, and then until he finally insisted that it be in the movie, and that if it wasn't in the movie, he was going to ruin her career, and he's going to take away jobs from all those people and never have that movie and come to fruition. This is what bad guys do. This is what manipulators do. And I'm telling you, in your own personal life, it doesn't matter what gender you are, if someone is manipulating you like that, recognize it and stand up to them. And you could do it politely, but no, I'm done with it. No, I'm not going to do what you want, and you're not going to get me to feel bad for doing something reasonable. You're the one asking me to do something unreasonable, and I'm not going to take it anymore. So this has been the greatest of movements, and I know that it's not perfect, and that there's issues around the edges, etc. But overall, what a wonderfully liberating moment. If you become a member of the Young Turks, you'll be saying,
I'm like a smart person.
So do it right now, tytnetwork.com/join. Get the whole Young Turks show every day.